Today I'll be reviewing a mini portable vacuum cleaner that is USB-C chargeable. Hey everybody, it's the Review Dad. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel.
Hello?
So getting into the unboxing, what do we have here? We've got a nice hose that's flexible that can extend the vacuum cleaner in the front. We've also got a 2-in-1 brush. So this you can push backwards and forwards, so you have the brush, and then you've also got a plastic nozzle that can clean in those hard to reach places. There's also a nice cleaning brush and a charging cable that is USB-C, so that's pretty cool. So keeping up with technology these days. So this vacuum cleaner has a dust cup cover, a dust cup, as well as the filter screen inside. There's the fuselage cell. There's also the power switch and power indicator on the side, and there's an air outlet which blows quite strong air out, which I'll show you later on. And there's the handle, and as well as the USB port. So a pretty nifty little vacuum cleaner. It's quite compact. It's probably the size of a wine bottle, just to give you some perspective. And it comes packaged with that small little nozzle sort of plastic, there we go, right on the power buttons, because it has come slightly pre-charged. So there's the measurements with a Sharpie that I use as an everyday item, so you can see roughly how big this item is in real life. So once removing the protective cover, you can see the nice soft touch power button, and the device does come pre-charged. Taking off the cap, you can then reveal the suction nozzle, and then that also locks into place with a twist. So I'll unlock that. You can see the filter and then also the motor inside the cylinder as well. Clicking that back into place is very easy. You place it in line and you just give it a twist and it's all ready to go. So it's, switching it on. The indicator lights come on. The suction's quite strong, as you can see. It's sucking my skin, and then I decided to vacuum my hair. So it's you can see the hair being pulled in. I zoomed in for you guys. Attaching nozzles is easy. They just slide into the front slot, as they all built to fit in there. And it works quite well. It's a nice size to hold the vacuum cleaner. It's not too heavy. The extension hose works really well. It's flexible for reaching those hard to reach places, like underneath cupboards and things like that. And testing it now with some tea and coffee that I spilled conveniently on the counter. You can see now, as I snake my way along, you can see the granules of sugar being sucked in. So the suction power is actually quite strong. And then we move on to the coffee granules, and you can see how they are collecting in the front nozzle, which is quite cool. So it works really well, and the suction's really strong, so I will show you that later on in the video. So emptying out the filter, you unclip the front, you take the filter head off, and inside is all the contents that you've sucked up. So you can see, emptying it out, it looks like that, and the filter is washable, so you can put this under a running tap. And if you need to clean the filter a bit more, there is that small brush which I showed you earlier to get into those hard to reach ribs. Now moving on to the charging, very easy to charge. It's USB-C. You plug that into your PC or a phone charger or whatever you have. The lights will flash as they charge and move up, and it's roughly 4 to 5 hours of charging time.
Three hours later.
I did some tests on suction power, and how strong is this vacuum? Well, let's have a look. I chose some random items around the house and also weighed them so you can see. And as you can see, if you're sucking up paper, you can see how strong the suction power is, sucking up the paper or a piece of money. And then moving on to the next item, it's a coaster weighing around 24 grams. It's got a slippery surface, so positioning the vacuum on it, and it still manages to lift it up, so that's quite good. I moved on to a piece of Tupperware, which was a bit more difficult for the suction to grab onto, but again a little heavier, and it did pick this up. So again, pretty strong suction. So I stepped it up and decided to get a placemat, which is a bit heavier and much bigger. And again, it's slippery, so it didn't quite grip it. But just to give you an idea, the suction power on this little vacuum is actually really strong. We do have a smaller vacuum as well, that's a portable one, and this one is much more powerful than the other one we have. So suction power, you can't go wrong. It's really strong. Now with the strong suction power, you have the airflow that comes out of the back, out of that ribbed cage area there, as you can see. So I'm trying to display and demonstrate how the wind is blowing with a piece of serviette or some cloth, and you can see how it blows it away. So it's really strong. So while you're vacuuming, you can keep nice and cool. And yeah, so if you're vacuuming for really long, you can dry the sweat with this little vacuum. The airflow is really powerful. Now I'm just demonstrating some of the areas around the house where dust has collected, so I can show you how it works. This is on a windowsill over some time, and it picks up the dust quite easily with no effort at all, and it cleans it very nicely with the little attachments. So then I move on to the floor in the kitchen, where I messed some crumbs, obviously on purpose, with a bit of dust from some shoes and that. And yeah, once again, the device cleans it really nicely. The noise, if you want to know what it sounds like, I'll just let it go for a little bit here. So it is quite loud, but it's not unbearable. It's just like any other vacuum with the sound. And yeah, it works really well. It picks up the dust, as you can see. I moved on to carpet with a bit of fluff stuck in it and a bit of scrubbing and squishing around and stuff. It lifts it up eventually. Pet hair and things like that. I eventually moved to the car, where the wheel well was actually quite dirty with a lot of stones and grit and leaves and things like that. And as you can see, the vacuum had no problem picking all of that up. And in the next scene, you'll see the dirt that collected in the front nozzle. So the filter once again can be cleaned with water and rinsed out and dried in the sun. So overall, a really good product. So if you're looking for a little vacuum, there's a link in the description for you guys. Cheers!